Thank you so much for having me. And thank you all for taking the time out of your busy days. I know how crazy it's been this year. So I'm like very thankful to have so many teachers investing in their classrooms and their kids. And so it just inspires me. I love it so much. And Miss Tracy has like totally blown my mind. I'm like ready to go play with some items. I'm like, oh, I have to add that to my notes for later. What I would like to start off with, you can go ahead and go to the next slide. I like to start with why are we doing this right now? So why this, why now? I feel like this year I've been a duck. I totally look calm on top of the water when I'm in my classroom, but I'm swimming like crazy underneath. It's just a crazy year. And so I'm all about saving time and using my resources to make sure I am maximizing my efficiency in my classroom. So I have time for my kids at home. So I hope that you all are here for the same reasons. You can go ahead and go to the next one. So the same thing, just saving time, utilizing what resources you have in front of you, digitizing your content, innovating your classroom, etc. This year was the year I had to take all of my content and really put it online because we have that virtual option for our kids. And so I just wanted to make sure that what's going on in my classroom is equal to what's going on outside of my classroom, trying to create equity in our education system. So in doing so, I tried to search for really rigorous content online and realized Edulastic has been my best program for all of my kids and for making sure I have test security, making sure that my kids are getting those dynamic questions that are related to what we're doing and are rigorous enough to meet the standards for our standardized testing. So just the test bank basics, the first thing that you want to do is get into your dashboard and then select the test bank, and that is shown here, so you'll be able to play with it in your slideshow. And then in the test bank, you have two options. So you can either search in the box that asks for specific questions. So if you're looking for questions about triangles, in that search box, you could type in triangles. So that's for specific items. Or if you want a new test, you can create your own test given the items that already exist online. So if I typed in triangles in that red box for the search system, then I would get all of the tests that already exist that talk about triangles. If I wanted to create my own, given the items that are available, I would create a new test. And I would say my focus today is on creating a new test rather than using the ones that exist, although there are some amazing tests out there that you can clone and beg, borrow, and steal from. So the first thing that you're going to do when you select new test, it's going to take you to select either Snap Quiz, which is what we just talked about, or it's going to take you to create your own test. So you want to go through and give all of the descriptions to identify your test later. So what grade, how you want to name it, what subject, and that will automatically tag certain items when you go on to create your test. So when you go to add items, you have so many options. You can actually go to the next slide, sorry. So you have so many, I think it's repeating. Are you getting the same thing? If not, I can totally go to the next one. I'm so sorry.
I think we're good now.
Here we are. Sorry.
Thanks, Allison.
I'll have to back out some of the slides. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, so in this space, this is where you can type in specific topics that you might want to search. So I put in congruent triangles. I'm a geometry teacher, and I just went through and tried to see what questions were available to me just in the item bank if I searched with no other parameters. And I realized, hey, I want to be more specific than just congruent triangles. So you can also search over to the left-hand side. You'll notice that there are also the options for, I can pick authored by me. So if I've created questions in the past, if I want to select different grade levels or a grade specific question, I can do that. You can also select the subject. So if I wanted to have a math question, which is what we're talking about, right? So I would select math. From the standard set, they have so many different standard sets, and I want to applaud Edulastic because you have added so many over the years that I am just blown away with how many standard sets you've added. Common Core is normally the one that I stick with, but there are so many ways that you can specify it to your state, your region, your test, however you want to specify it. You can also select a specific question type. So if you want just multiple choice, or you want multiple select, or you want some of those dynamic questions, you can select that. Depth of knowledge, our particular standardized test has a mix of difficulty. So you also have that option to search for. And then you have collections, which is my personal favorite. I absolutely love, love, love the collections that exist. You can have some that you've collaborated with within your school, within your district, but you also have some amazing ones that were created from Engage New York, and they're Edulastic Certified, which means they've gone through the process of making sure that they are rigorous and they are correct. So I typically use the Edulastic specific ones. And then you can go on and click to the next slide. Unless we're already there. Are we already there? I think it might just repeat. Is it doing it again? Okay, no, it isn't. All right. So then I created my test, and you'll see that I've gone now to the review tab, just like Miss Tracy was talking about earlier. You can go through, you can rearrange your questions after you've selected them. You can also preview the items, you can test them, you can change their amount of points here. And then once you've decided the order, you can click on settings. And for that specific test, I don't want to repeat everything that Miss Tracy said, but there are some really, really, really great test settings that you can utilize when you're doing distance learning. If you have kids in your classroom that you want to make sure that you are meeting certain accommodations for them, these test settings have just they have gotten so much better over the years, and I absolutely love utilizing them. There's something you kind of have to play with and learn over time. So I would take a step and try one on your next test and see if you like it. The great news is you can update it. So if you give a test to one class and you don't like the way it's set, you can go into settings and change some of the stuff. Some of it is locked permanently after you assign it, but some of it you can change while it's actually live. So that has been an awesome feature to have, especially during distance learning when everything's just kind of ebb and flow when you're getting everything thrown at you at different times. So the monitor and adjust part is great when you have these test settings. You can go to the next slide, Ms. Chan. Thank you. And then here, my helpful hints that I would just take away is beg, borrow, and steal. We are all educators. We are all trying to help each other. Edulastic has a bank of tons of questions that have been created by test creators, by states, by tons of really excellent teachers out there. So use that. Don't feel like you have to create every single question, every single test on your own. You can also have your kids create questions. That's been one of my favorite things to do this year, is kind of get them to tell me what kind of questions they want to see and help them, or have them help me create questions. The assessment settings have really helped me with classroom management. I have, tons of accommodations that I have to reach. And so it's really helped me having the time setting, having a due date, all of that, where kids are having to manage their time and put it into a planner. Take the time to play. I've been on Edulastic for years, and I am learning something every day. I'm going to go play with the dynamic questioning when I get off of here. So always take the time to just play with the features, collaborate with teachers, find somebody on here and connect with them. And that Snap Quiz feature, Miss Tracy, that has been my new favorite thing, because now I can actually utilize things from Teachers Pay Teachers, and I can make a worksheet digital in less than 5 minutes. So if you have not played with Snap Quiz, I'm going to tell you, you need to do it today. It is going to save your life. And you are done. Go play.